All right, welcome in. It is the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We have reached episode 81, the Terrell Owens episode. It is June 8th, 2023. I have survived, escaped death off my flight with Cody. It was a pretty smooth flight for the most part. Oh, Ethan has just disappeared, and I don't know where he is. Grant is here. He's moving. I can see his lips moving. Maybe. Oh, yep. Now he's frozen.
Well, that's not good.
Oh, yep. There his lips are out. Now he's making a face. So we're good. We have a series, Miami Denver. It is tied 1-1 as we record this. Game 3 is Wednesday night, so we'll post the reaction video. Be up on socials after that game, and then we're gonna wrap up History of Heartbreak, Chapter 7, and we have already locked in Dan for next week to join us and discuss the book, so be ready for that. And then we're going to finish up with Curveball of the Week. But I don't know where Ethan went, and I must have had some connection issues.
Last week they were doing some plumbing work in his apartment, from a third party company, and one day they came in and they made a mess in his apartment, and there was just puddles of water everywhere, all over
that's
all
no
over
good.
his carpet. One day they turned the shower off, and it looked like he was in Flint, Michigan. And he left him a nasty note that said, "Hey, clean up after yourself, clowns." So I think the company's coming back and they're taking his Wi-Fi away. This is their payback for that nasty letter that Ethan left.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
I don't know. Everything just froze for a second, but no. Funny you're talking about that. I told you when I talked to the head manager lady, property manager, she said, "Oh, we'll send our secretary out to get you a $250 gift card." That was on Wednesday. I went back today because she goes, "Yeah, we'll have it probably Friday," and I was like, "Whatever." She said she'd tell me when they have it. So I went there today, and she goes, no one knew about it. They didn't have the gift card or anything. So they call her, and she goes, "Oh yeah, they're behind the ball. It's actually the vendor has to get you it."
Oh, that's not going to happen.
And I'm like, well, that's not what you said the first time. So what's going on here?
Oh no.
So probably going to be playing Ring Around the Rosie, but they will owe me $250 because she fucking said it.
There you go. I would leave a negative review on Yelp. I would leave a negative review on Facebook. I mean, anywhere you can leave a negative review, I would leave it.
Supposedly, I will have an ETA tomorrow, is what I was told.
Okay.
So if I don't hear anything by tomorrow, I'm going to send her an email and be like, "Hey, this is for Alex, but you told me I was going to get $250 just so I have it on like an actual, not just like a phone, like an actual email or something."
I just have a hunch, dude. This is going to be the world's largest game of chicken, or just table tennis, back and forth.
Yep,
back and forth.
Yep, exactly. That's
and
exactly
she's going to email someone else. Someone else is going to email you, and they're hoping eventually you crack.
Yep, and I'm like, nope. Even when I move out, I am gonna make sure I get this fucking money.
Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
This sounds a lot like when I was trying to get my insurance money for my roof when I had to redo shingles after hail damage, where I didn't have the full amount, and it was back and forth. And then the guy was like, "Well, I don't know." And then they're like, "Well, we just have to you have to have your construction guy send pictures to the insurance, and the insurance will send you a check. And then the insurance is going to contact the construction to send the pictures. So there's a contact, call the construction guy. No, I've never talked to these people at all. So end up getting it, but poor construction guy, he didn't get it till like Christmas time, but got it done. I actually ended up coming out ahead because I got more on my second check, which I'm not going to complain about. So
a win is a win.
So in the end, it worked out.
A win.
So hopefully Ethan can have the same juju go his way.
Same luck. That'd be great.
250 stones is 250 stones. You're not going to see me complain about that. It's a lot of money.
Is it just like a money card, or is it like a gift card to someplace?
They said a Visa gift card. Visa gift card.
Oh, okay.
So essentially,
So hypothetically here, if they said it had to be to a business of your choice, what would you get $250 for what company would you get?
I'm
I'd
thinking
have to ask Hannah because it'd be her.
Costco.
We thought about it because we said we might just use it for groceries, but I was also like, well, we could either use it for the tickets to the football game or the truck we're renting to move. So like, there's a couple different options. So
Now,
we'll see.
when you say we, is this a united front, but it's one person's decision, and you guys are being politically correct in saying we?
We've both given ideas, and she hasn't said no. So,
oh, God, you're lucky.
Oh,
no,
She hasn't told you you're a dumb, stupid male yet.
she's just giving you false hope.
Yeah,
She knows what that money's going towards. She just hasn't said it yet. She's just taking you along.
I mean,
literally.
In the game of life, men play checkers and women play chess. That's all it comes down to. I am a horrible checkers player, so that's why no bitches talk to me, because I can't even play checkers. I'm not in the same world as them.
You're not.
Oh God, no! It's a disaster.
You know, there's somebody out there for you, Grant.
I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm gonna be honest.
You just got to believe. You got to be positive. Think positive. Good vibes.
I am a mirror of
positivity. This is what this
positivity in
podcast
every
is.
aspect in life except that.
Well, you just got to come out of your shell. What's the worst they can do? They're gonna say no. It's not like they're gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah, I know, but enough.
I mean, if she does, she's probably a guy.
That's true, or was a guy. Whatever. Enough about me. Enough about me and my shortcomings.
I get it. Well, and speaking of shortcomings, Denver came up short last night in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. A game that after the first, I thought Miami dominated about the first 5 minutes of the game and the last 5 minutes of the game. In between that, I thought Denver had control for most of it. And in the end, the undrafted guys for Miami, the Strauss, Gabe Vincent,
Duncan Robinson,
the Caleb, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin. And Caleb didn't even start, but Kevin Love came off the bench or started in his place and hit a couple of big threes. And defensively, Jokic scored 41 points, but they did a good job of not letting anybody else really score. Like similar kind of what happened in Game 1. I think the big thing going forward in this game is, for one, the Heat. There's still things to look forward to. Bam is having a much better NBA Finals than he was Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy Butler has not played great in the Finals. He had some big shots down the stretch. Maybe that gives him some confidence going into Game 3. And then Miami, the other part of it too is, they shut the lights out last night. I think the biggest question for Miami right now is, can they win a game when they aren't hitting threes at the clip they were? Because I think Denver can win without shooting, living and dying by the three. I don't know if Miami can't, because we haven't seen it these playoffs.
Well, and Dylan, it was a tale of two games. Look at Game 1. Strauss went 0 for 10 from the field. Vincent wasn't being him. Kevin Love didn't even play. Duncan Robinson's been so up and down on these playoffs, and he got benched last year. And yesterday was it was a different game. But it was a Hall of Fame coach making Hall of Fame decisions, realizing that I need to get Kevin Love on the court. He's not going to light the box score up in terms of points, but just facilitating the ball around the court, getting these guys open shots early in the game and getting their confidence going, where they can say, hey, you know what? We can win this thing and we can play. But all credit to Miami too, because when Denver got up, 50-32, I thought it was over. I mean, with the way they've been playing, Jokic going for a triple-double in Game 1, and Jamal Murray hadn't gotten going in that game up to that point. When they got up, but that was 18 points, I was like, this is going to be tough sledding for Miami. But they fight, they scratch, they clawed their way back. They got it within what, 7, 8 at halftime, and they just kind of hung around. And Dylan, you're right. I think Jokic went berserk last night. What 28 or 26 in the third, 41 for the game, but he only had 3 assists. He wasn't getting other guys involved, and Denver's role players, they weren't hot like they were in game 1, and Miami took advantage of that. And now Denver, for the first time, maybe this playoff series, you could argue a little bit in the Phoenix series, has some adversity where they got to sit back and they got to say, maybe we need to make some changes because what we tried in game 2 won't work. So let's see what Mike Malone and his staff can come up with in 3 days before heading down to South Beach.
Yeah, well, and Mike Malone said it in the post game locker room, is questioning the team's effort. That's not great when in the NBA Finals is having your coach question your effort in the game. And the other part too is you can't speak enough about Heat culture. And I know it's a cliche term, but I mean, you look at all the undrafted guys. Grant, like you said, Strus, 0 for 10 in game 1, comes out, hits 4 threes in the first quarter. Gabe Vincent, 23 points, 4 or 6 from 3. Kyle Lowry, who's a shell of himself, but always finds himself making plays in big minutes. And Duncan Robinson, who's been very, as far as even just playing up and down and inconsistent. And, it'd be easy. Got paid a huge contract. It would be easy for him to say, oh, I want out of here. What's the point of me prepping, getting ready? But these guys are always ready for the moment and ready for when their number is called, and they deliver.
Well, and even and going to the fourth quarter last night, even when Denver had that big lead, Duncan Robinson gets Miami going with 10 early fourth quarter points. And a big point in that game, he went up, he went inside. I don't know if it was on Jokic or if it was Gordon who was trying to defend him. They hit him with a little contact. No foul was called, but the basket went in, and he looked towards the baseline, and he flexed on Denver. And I think that brought the juice for that Miami team. Like, hey, Duncan's feeling it. This Heat culture is a thing. We're going to play with confidence. We're going to be in your face. Him flexing on them dudes was just like, hey, I'm here. We're going to win this game. And that's kind of got Jimmy going. And it got that team going, and they rallied in the fourth quarter there. And then after that, that also kind of amped up their defensive efforts in the fourth quarter where Denver just couldn't come back.
Yeah. And crazy Duncan Robinson story is after his senior year, the Michigan writers, they were kind of asking him what his plan was, and it was Brendan Quinn who said that it was talking about, I bet you talked about giving the NBA a shot, but I bet you got plenty of suitors lined up to looking for your services over in Europe. And I guess he looks at Brendan and goes, no, I'm going to be playing in the NBA. And sure enough, he did, and now he's hitting big shots and delivering big plays and huge moments for the Heat.
And Dylan, I read an article today that on paper his contract looks like a big contract, 5 years, $90 million. But a lot of that is incentive based, where he needs to reach a certain number of field goal attempts, percentages of games played, and everything else like that, where his contract almost looks like a paper tiger. It's not what it actually is. And for him being a bench player and a streaky shooter, when you're low in basketball, you're low. But when you're high, you're high. And he had to fight through that adversity with guys like, Jimmy and Bam and Coach Spoelstra, probably Alonzo Mourning and Pat Riley upstairs saying, keep playing, keep doing you, Duncan. We gave you this contract for a reason. You showed out. We know you can do this. Just keep doing it. You never know when your time's going to come. Tyler Hero is still out with that broken hand. And he delivered in game 2. If it wasn't for him, the Heat are down 0-2, and we're probably getting ready to crown Denver champs. But you know what? He stuck to it. And Dylan, like you said, Heat culture, people say it's cliche. No, it's not. I saw in a TV interview 4 years ago, Pat Riley was wearing a white T-shirt in black lettering. It said culture across the chest. That man's been in 19 NBA finals in his career as a coach, player, and executive.
25% of the NBA Finals.
That's not a cliche. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. What Miami has, what Pat Riley has established, Eric Spoelstra over his time, it is what it is. And Miami's not going to go away. Hell, they could still lose this thing in 5. They could lose in 6. They could win in 7. I just know they're not going to go down without a fight. They're not going to fold like a wet paper sack like Boston did in Game 7.
Would this be the biggest upset ever?
In the finals? Ooh, probably of our lifetime.
What about
I can't think
what about that 04 Pistons team beating the Lakers?
that one possibly,
that one
yeah.
would be up there.
I don't know. We'd have to look up numbers wise as far as like odds going into it, but I mean, an 8 seed winning the NBA Finals is, I mean that's that Denver or that Detroit team was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean they had Rip Hamilton, they had Tayshaun Prince, Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace.
Their coach.
I mean, there's 3 or Larry Brown. So they had a Hall of Fame coach. They had 3 or 4 Hall of Fame players on that team. So. And I don't know what they were seed-wise going into the playoffs. But, I mean, if we're going just by the fact that Miami is an 8 seed against the number 1 team in the NBA all season, yeah, I would probably say it's the biggest upset in the NBA
number
Finals.
1 team in the West. Because I think Milwaukee and actually Boston were 1 and 2 in the NBA this year. If I'm not mistaken, Dylan. I believe so. Because I think they said if Boston would have won Game 7, Denver would have had to have gone to the Garden for Game 1. I could be wrong, but I thought Milwaukee and Boston were 1 and 2 in the league.
Yes. Yeah. So Boston was 57-25. Denver was 53-29. So,
but yeah, to your point, Denver was number 1 in the West through the whole year.
But they would beat literally the top 3 teams in the friggin' league.
Exactly.
Boom, boom,
exactly.
boom.
Yep.
Well, and the other argument too you could make is I think from the eye test, I think Denver has been the best team all year. Record wise, maybe not. I think part of it is Denver playing in the tough Western Conference, but and I think this is probably the best team that Miami's faced in the playoffs so far this year.
Yeah,
which isn't a knock on those other 2, but
because even. Milwaukee, Giannis hurts his back. Middleton's had a bad knee for a couple of years now. That team wasn't if you ask me, they weren't that complete. They were good because they played in a bad division.
Like the Bulls in the under Thibodeau, I would say is the best, maybe the best analogy.
That's fair. A good regular season team, they're going to pile up some wins, but we need them to win a title. You just can't trust them. And the only reason they won that title was because Kevin Durant wears a size 18 shoe and not a size 17. If he wore a size 17 shoe, that 3 goes in. And, well, Milwaukee's not champs. I'm not going to say who would have won it that year, but it wasn't Milwaukee.
Yeah. But, yeah, we'll see what happens in Game 3 and Game 4. Game 3 Wednesday, so it'll already be done before we record or after we record, and then Game 4 is Friday night, and we'll have a Game 5 Monday for sure, and we'll see if there's going to be a Game 6 or a Game 7. But that's enough NBA talk for today's episode. We got one more chapter of book club here. It is History of Heartbreak by Dan Winnesota. This is chapter 7. This is Distressed the Rest. So this is some different moments. These were not of the main 4 sports here. We've got some golf, some soccer, some unrelated things of that have happened regarding the Metrodome and other stadiums in Minnesota. But this one starts out with the most known course in Minnesota, the Hazeltine National Golf Club. It's hosted the U.S. Open, PGA Championship. I believe it is. Is it hosting the Ryder Cup, or did it host it the previous Ryder Cup?
It hosted it. Would have been the last, maybe even two
times ago in the States. I think it was in. Was it Wisconsin last time?
It was my second year of grad school.
Yeah, so that would have been not the second to last time. It was in Minnesota. or the states.
Yeah.
Sorry, I believe because
Okay.
I think it was at
2018.
because was it at Whistling Straits the last time in
Yeah,
Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken?
So the next, it's going to be the 2028 Ryder Cup is going to be at Hazeltine.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Nice. I mean,
so
this one hurts, the one that we're going to talk about, because I work across the street from Hazeltine, so I am now a Hazeltine fan.
Oh, really?
Like, I literally could walk on the course.
Nice.
Is this where you currently live now, or where you're
Where
moving?
he works.
Work.
Oh, where you work. Oh,
Where I
gotcha.
work.
You haven't
Yes.
you haven't gotten high up enough at Target yet to get on the course yet?
I mean, I think you can actually. No, I don't actually think it's public.
I thought it was public.
but,
You just had to pay a ridiculous fee to play.
It's. I think it is like maybe like 300 to 400.
Yeah,
or
even
like it's
even
just
close to
stupid.
like 500, which is just ridiculous.
Dylan, some of the holes on this thing, they just look terrifying when you drive by. Like, I'm just gonna say it straight up. Like, you don't want to play there.
Kind of do.
I think Cody Magnuson played it one time, he said, and it was a living hell. And he hits it 300 yards.
Well,
I do not hit it 300 yards unless I'm going with the wind. Then I might have a shot, but it is I have to avoid the banana hook that I have severe, or the banana slice, severe banana slice. It's when I golf on the simulator, it says it's a hard fade, so makes it sound a little bit better. And I've actually been working. I haven't the last few rounds, and knock on wood that when I have golf league Thursday night, that the slice doesn't come back. But I've actually been fading it a decent amount the last few times I've gone out and played, really emphasizing keeping that elbow tucked when I'm coming down.
so is it, Dylan, like when you're gonna play the slice or the fade, and then when you line up to the left or the right, you hit it straight as an arrow? Is it like that?
Not always. It happens a few times. I've done it enough to know that to make sure I play it a little looser and not try to really like over grip the club, because I've done, and really just trying to focus on keeping it, because it'll naturally, I kind of have that baseball swing. I still go a little bit inside out, which causes it, but slowly working on it. And frankly, my biggest concern is the drive is what it is, but if I can keep consistently be good 125 yards and in and around the green, I think that's going to help my game a lot more than being able to hit bombs down the fairway.
Without question.
This is true.
So, but this happened in 1970. The course opened in 62, and Jack Nicklaus, he played a practice round there like about a month before they were having the U.S. Open here in 1970. And he said he felt lost and everything was blind. The architect, Robert Trent Jones, fired back and told him that Nicklaus was the one that was blind. And on day one of the tournament, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. When have we heard of windy days in the Midwest?
Never.
There's not a lot going. There's not a lot of trees. I'll tell you that.
Oh, and then on day two, the weather was a lot better, and a golfer from Michigan named Dave Hill, he shot a 69. He moved into second place, and he had quite the post-round comments. He was upset with the course and was mad that the so many big-name players were struggling. And then a reporter asked him how he liked the course. And he didn't hold back any punches. He said, if I had to play this course every day for fun, I'd find another game. How did I find the golf course? I've been trying to find it ever since I came to Minneapolis. Just because you cut the grass and put up flags doesn't mean you have a golf course. What does it lack? 80 acres of corn and a few cows. They ruined a good farm by building this golf course on it. My two kids could lay out a better course than that. The man who designed this course had the blueprints upside down, just off the top rope.
Who wants such an easy course like this? A hard course makes
and
it
I was
fun.
just going to say that. isn't the goal of the U.S. Open to challenge these players? It's supposed to be the hardest tournament of the year. It's supposed to make you work. And you know what? Let's circle back to last week. How I said old people suck and all they complain and they're soft. You know what? This same age group right here, these are the same people I'm talking about. They want to talk about how tough they are and how they built America and blah, blah, blah. They walked to school going uphill both ways. And they're complaining about a golf course because it was too tough on a major. God, they're just soft. These boomers are just losers, man. Jeepers. Complain a little more, Jack. That's why you're not the GOAT. I don't care if Tiger has more than you. Tiger's the guy. You're a sissy. Stop complaining.
Grant, it's funny you
Ohio
mentioned
State, so that disqualifies him.
I did not know that.
That's fair. Grant,
that's what
mentioned the older
the golf
people.
facility's named after.
You mentioned the older
Yes.
people. We're just as fucked with the younger people. I was at Cub Foods on Saturday. These two girls, of course they're blonde. Not calling people out. I'm just pointing out that they were blonde.
Fair.
But it took 10 minutes for them to figure out how to ring up a watermelon. They're looking to weigh it without realizing the sticker had a barcode on it. I shit you not. 10 minutes of these dumb fucks trying to figure out how to pay for this thing. And they didn't even figure it out. They didn't pay for it. They just put it in their cart and walked
They just
away.
said 12 and walked away with the free melon?
Yeah. Yep. So they can be grumpy and shit, but at least they're fucking smart.
Well, they somewhat try, but my gosh, they're complaining about the course was too hard. 40-mile-an-hour winds. You're a professional, dude. Stop it.
You're in bumfuck middle of nowhere, Minnesota. Fuck off.
I mean, stop complaining.
Go play interlocking. Go put it in their 700 bunkers.
Oh, boy.
Which reminds me, Interlaken is actually hosting the U.S. Women's Open here. Is it next year?
I'm not sure.
Because I know the women's this year is at Pebble Creek.
I believe it's at. I'm pretty sure
Pebble
it's
Creek
in
or Pebble Beach?
next year.
Pebble Beach. Pebble Creek's a golf course in Bismarck. Yeah,
I don't think
it's at Pebble Beach. No, it's only a 9-hole course, and it's a very short course. Yeah. But yes, it's at Pebble Beach this year, which is a fairly big deal. And a local NDSU golfer is golfing at 7 months pregnant. So Amy Olsen.
Yes.
Oh wow.
She's a beast.
That's quite the feat.
Her husband is Grant Olsen. Grant, the former linebacker and current linebackers coach for NDSU.
Oh, I did not know that. So once again,
athletic family.
Once again, folks, that's a Fun Fact Friday coming to you on a Thursday, recorded on Monday. Boom!
Didn't she just recently win too, or close?
She was close. Yeah, I don't think she's won a PGA event, but she's been like close enough or placed in that top tier to where she can qualify for the majors. But in the end, Hill came back in 1991, and as a promotional event, he played a practice round with Reese Jones, the son of the architect of the course, to help kick off ticket sales, and shot a par 72. He ended up praising the course.
So his best round that day, he shoots a 69, which was better than what he shot that day, and he's trashing it. And 20 years later, when someone's throwing him a bunch of money and he's promoting it, he says how great the course is. Sick.
Boomers are soft. I think that's what we're gonna. I think that's what we're gonna name this title. I think that's the title of the episode is Boomers are soft,
man. That's all I can come up with.
I think you're right. She has not won an event, Amy Olsen, but she has 2 tied for second finishes in majors.
Oh,
yep,
nice.
that's what it was.
That'll work. That'll play.
Boomers are soft, man.
And you know what's funny is we're talking about boomers. I got called a boomer the other day on Twitter.
By who?
Because
someone with an egg profile picture.
No, it was actually our good friend Mason from Aikenbauer, because I was ranting about how awful the jerseys were in Game 1. How I don't know if you guys saw it, but how why do we not wear the traditional jerseys? It drives me insane.
Oh yeah, the Mile High City and then the black alternate uniforms.
Yes, yeah. or just wear do whatever you want in the regular season. Nobody cares. Nobody watches it anyways. But for the playoffs, can we at least have some respect and honor for tradition of, home whites, road colors? Nobody needs to be wearing colored jerseys at home. Just go traditional. It looks terrible, and when teams are wearing colored jerseys, both of them it's aesthetically just terrible.
No,
this is my TED Talk for the day.
I'm right there with you, dude. I mean, keep it simple.
And I can't be the only one.
Oh no, I'm with you. I don't understand why we have to wear 14 different uniform combinations in the playoffs. Like Golden State, they're pulling out their black jersey with a rose on top of there or something. It's like how is that a Warrior like? When I think of Warrior, I think of someone with a big metal shield and a sword getting ready to take someone's head off. Not a rose plant. This isn't a Valentine's Day date. But again, boomers are soft and the people of San Francisco are soft. I'm pretty sure Klay Thompson P sitting down. Draymond went to Michigan State. Steve Kerr fell into 4 championships. I just don't like the Warriors. But a rose? Come on. That's not tough. Go back to their old uniforms with Baron Davis and was Terry Richardson.
Jason Richardson.
Jason Richardson, yeah. Where they had this Warrior guy with a lightning bolt with the blue Monte Ellis. Go back to them. Not this stupid crap they have these days. So yeah, Dylan, you're right. These uniforms now in the NBA suck. And the Wolf City and
it's trickling into the MLB. These city jerseys are terrible. Like what's wrong with the occasional colored jersey, gray or white pants? Like why do we have to have blue pants? And the only exception I will make for this rule is the Carolina blue colored jerseys, because those are sick.
Oh yeah.
Everything else is hot garbage.
What's your opinion on the Twin Cities uniforms for the Twins this year? The
Twin
cream
Cities
with the blue.
Which one is? I mean, it's within their color scheme. So, like, when they first moved to Minneapolis, their home jerseys were cream colored.
Thank you. Hannah hates them, and she's the only one that doesn't like them.
Well, she's wrong. She's wrong.
She's wrong. Yes. We know that.
She's wrong, and now she's probably listening, and now Ethan's in trouble.
Well, she's not.
She's actually not home tonight. She had to go down and have her grandpa help her fix her car. So she's on her way home.
What, did the car get lost in Missouri again?
So, okay, she's going to kill me that I said this. But, so she doesn't listen to this anyway. We're fine. So she was at Costco the other day, and she goes, oh, wow, I can drive forward. There's a curb. There's a curb. And her car, it hits curb. She gets stuck on top of curb. Reverses, ripped off part of, like, the plastic covering of her engine.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, if I was a stand-up comedian right now, I would have so much material for this with the combination of the gender Hannah is in driving, but I'm not going there. But
she also has hair color.
But this. So we're driving to Missouri. We're driving over curbs. I'm starting to think, man, you don't want people in that family driving at all, dog.
All right. Her grandpa's good. He fixed the car tonight, so we're fine.
Okay, he fixed her car, but is he still going to be a hazard when he gets in the car? What's he going to do next time?
I mean, it could have been worse. They only ended up in Missouri.
How do you go through the whole state of Iowa and not realize, oh, shit, we've gone a long way? How do you fill for gas? You're in Centerville, Iowa, and you're like, well, let's stop at the local Casey's and get a slice of pizza. What?
No, we're going to be in fucking Missouri.
Yeah. How do you not fill up for gas? That just amazes me.
It's incredible.
Well, they got home. They're safe.
Boomers are soft, and Hannah can't drive. Yeah. Let's move on.
Yep.
That's what I should name. That's what I should name the episode. Oh boy,
Let's not do that, please.
Guys, I wouldn't have a place to sleep.
I'm fine with the boomers are soft, but that second part, maybe not.
Yeah. Do we really need to talk about soccer on this next page?
Yeah, well, I mean, the term Minnesota syndrome came from the Minnesota Kicks losing the soccer bowl.
I've never heard of the soccer bowl before this, so this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, the league folded. So it doesn't.
But the Earthquakes, are they still playing?
I don't think so.
I mean, they may have carried over from one league to another, but it's soccer. Who cares?
Yep.
Glorified jogging.
And let's go
glorified jogging.
Let's go to
as
real.
Dylan calls it.
You're right. Hill, I will die on too. Jerseys and soccer is glorified jogging. And you know what? It's a debate, an argument I will get in. When I was down in Mexico, met a British dude. I asked him what his favorite soccer club was. He called me it's football, you bloody wanker.
That's a guy who drinks tea and eats beans for a living. He lives in the most depressed city in the world. The big bad military he had lost to a state of colonies. He lost to Appalachia people. They don't deserve to talk. And also, how is London the most visited city in the world every year? Why would I want to go there? Why?
So he actually was pretty cool guy.
Oh, don't give him that. Don't give him that.
He was because he hates the British monarchy.
Oh, thank God.
He actually doesn't live in London. He lives like north and like he said he's like 2 hours away from it. So he kind of lives out in the country. And he was actually like a pretty cool guy. Guy I was with, we convinced him that guns if properly trained and used the right way, they can be fun, and like you have to, if it's important of safety and being taught the right way to do things, and I said it on Conversation Monday with Logan when we were talking about this too, was that like by the end of it, he was like a full-blown redneck. He had a 1776 tattooed on his arm. He had a chaw in. Like, I mean, he was a full-blooded American, indoctrinated into it. But so, and Grant, you're looking at me like I don't know if this is true, but I kind of actually believe that this is true.
I kind of hope it's true, but also I just don't like the people of that depressed, boring city. It's in country. They're just.
But he's not from London.
Maybe I just don't like him, or maybe I just holding a grudge because USA 1, England 0. Scoreboard. And I don't know.
It's funny when the guy from Vietnam says
it is, and it's a lot more funny in the context of the episode. God, Seth MacFarlane is the man.
We should get him on.
Oh my God. Oh my,
that would be an episode.
The best part about that is everyone's catching smoke. He's not coming after one specific person, race, gender, pronoun, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's catching smoke. That would be fantastic.
It'd be so fun.
Whoa. And so now that we're done talking about glorified jogging, let's talk about the Met Stadium getting demolished. I think it's fair to say that I'm surprised there isn't a KC logo in the Mall of America since the last two games of the teams played there. The Twins lost to the Royals 5-2, and then on December 20th in 1981, the Vikings lost to the Chiefs 10-6.
Let's not forget the whole toilet bowl gate, taking stuff out of bleachers, light bulbs. That just fiasco for the last game at the Met. God, that's fantastic.
And it was cool reading about this because Met Stadium, it gave way to the Metrodome. I thought it was interesting that they referred to the Metrodome as not lively for watching sports. Talk about old takes exposed, or freezing cold takes. We should CC
Skip Bayless on that.
Yeah,
that spoiled
and
milk.
I thought it was cool. And I thought it was cool too how the fans, they would tailgate before and after games, and then sometimes the players would come and hang out with them. Dan did a good job of talking about relationship building and connectedness and a community, which I think is why the Vikings have such a strong following and why Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota is a Viking state.
Could you imagine if you're able to do that today? As a fan, you tailgate before the game, you tailgate afterwards, and then after Justin puts up 7 for 115 against and 2 tutties against the Bears, he comes out and he's just hanging out with you in the parking lot. Can you imagine how cool that would be?
Yeah.
He just does this.
Well, it was when the Chiefs won the AFC Championship, it was Creed Humphrey and one of the other linemen. They were going out to the they were going into the concession stand to get more beer for the locker room because they drank them dry.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But I we'll just transition over to the newer home after the Met Stadium. The Metrodome roof collapsed 5 times.
I did not know 5 times.
I did not know this either.
No.
The only one that I knew of was in 2010. So now we're gonna do some fun fact Fridays, recorded on a Monday, released on Thursday.
Oh, he got it, folks.
Here, I did. It took a little bit. I was very, I've had quite the couple of days. I've walked 27 holes. I've flown in an airplane, little Cessna. I mowed my lawn for the first time. I'm gonna have to do it again on Wednesday.
Did you have the New Balances on?
I did not. Those are getting ordered. Okay. So once
you're an embarrassment.
Yeah.
As Jason Kelce calls them, the grass cutting 3000s.
Exactly. Those will be the next time I mow.
Nice.
And the curse of the rain, because every time I was gonna mow last Monday, rained. I was gonna mow Friday, rained, and then it actually rained here yesterday, but it was after I mowed, and I pretty much slept all afternoon from walking and flying, and walked 18 holes on a very hilly course on Saturday. And walking it, I can't believe I ran that in cross country in high school.
Back when you were at your peak physical shape.
Yes, correct. Well, actually, I would say my peak physical shape was when Grant, you and I were doing Nebraska's weightlifting program.
That was awesome.
I kind of want to do it again. I just need more time.
Give me 6 months.
We find a way to do this full time. I will document and do everything, follow that thing to a T, and we'll see how I do.
Oh, you'll kick it out. You'll send it out of the ballpark.
So, but back to the Metrodome roof collapsing. First one happened in 1981. 10.2 inches of snow fell on the Metrodome roof, and it actually fell twice. Collapsed twice. Once when the snow dropped, and then when they were shoveling it off. There was a pop, and one of the roof's panels on the north side of the dome tore, and over the next hour, the Metrodome roof slowly collapsed. 1982, they were shoveling snow, and an avalanche. They caused a small avalanche to fall off, and it lessened the pressure, which caused the roof to rise slightly. And as it rose, it hit a metal bucket that was suspended over the dome by a crane, creating a tear in the Teflon. Roof collapsed. Now this next one happened in April of 1983. So this thing opened the first one it popped before the Metrodome was even operating, because I believe it opened in 1982. Yes. So this one happened before. Second one happened barely, not even a year after it opened, and then in April. So within 3 years, it happened 3 times, and another snowstorm brought down the roof.
Are soft.
13.6 inches of snow, and the falling ice and snow led to a 38-foot tear in the roof, and workers deflated the dome as precautionary. And repairs were made just in time for baseball to be played the following night. That the Boomers are soft narrative is not true on this one, Grant. And then in 86, 60 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts took the roof down in the 8th inning. This was during a game between the Twins and Angels, and caused pressure inside the dome to drop, and then lights and speakers swayed. They've had the spectators go back into the concourse area. They turned on some electric fans, and it helped stabilize the pressure. And after only a 9-minute delay, also Boomers not soft on this one, delay, the game resumed, and then the Angels scored 6 runs in the top of the 9th inning and won the game 7-6.
Bad omens.
In full Minnesota
fashion.
Yeah.
Jeepers,
Yep.
cribing.
Pizza.
And then there was a 24-year hiatus of the roof not collapsing in December 12th of 2010. And this is the one we all remember. One of the craziest videos. I honestly thought when I saw it for the first time, I thought it was a cartoon. And it was supposed to be the night before the Vikings played the Giants. Minnesota got 24 inches of snow. And the Vikings did not get to finish the game there, finish their season there, in which was a very forgettable 2010 season. They played that game against the Giants on a Monday in Detroit at Ford Field, and then they played the Bears on a Monday night game, which ended Brett Favre's career at TCF Bank Stadium. And looking at it now, they lost those two games by a combined score of 61-17, which paved the way for US Bank Stadium to be they passed the bill for that and moved on to what is now a fully paid off US Bank Stadium.
26 years ahead. No, but Dylan.
Yep, that's what happens when you get. Go ahead.
Well, I'll let you finish first.
Well, and it helps when you can sell out Morgan Wallen and Eric Church concerts, or get those types of venues as well. The Final Four. Hopefully, Minnesota gets another
Final
one.
Four. Luke Holmes was there last weekend. They've had Coldplay, Ed Sheeran, Guns N' Roses. Build these
Motley Crue.
You build these big facilities, it'll help pay it off real quick.
If you build it, they will come.
But no, Dylan, that weekend in 2010, I remember that weekend because we got killed in Mankato too. That weekend for snow, and actually, I was 15, 16, however, years old, working at Hy-Vee that weekend, and I was, just a little part-time courtesy clerk. But it snowed so much that weekend. I spent my whole 6-hour shifts on both Saturday and Sunday, bringing carts in and out, shoveling the sidewalks, essentially just being outside. And I just remember I Charlie Browned it about 4 times trying to push these shopping carts in one run because the ground was so slick. I one time ended up on my back and I just looked up like, yep, this is going to happen. This is going to be the end of me. It was just an absolute disaster. And actually UND was in town that weekend for a hockey game, and they played Friday, but the snow was so bad, they canceled the Saturday game in the city. UND had to stay at their hotel, and I don't know if they played on Sunday or if they just went home where the weather got better. But every business in town shut down Saturday afternoon, where they canceled the hockey game because the snow was that bad that weekend.
Yeah, I believe it. I think we had a pretty hard snowstorm in Dickinson as well. I don't remember if I want to say, no, this was different. No, I'm thinking of a different time, but yeah, I remember getting hit pretty hard by snow that weekend as well. Probably just a big Alberta clipper that just came across the entire Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Midwest, Midwest, we'll call it.
It took out the whole Midwest.
And and it caused the Metrodome to addition by subtraction, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Metrodome, as great as it was, led way to an even nicer stadium in US Bank Stadium. And we'll go to some quick hitters here. Howard Cosell, legendary broadcaster, loses his toupee. And the reason why this is a story is because it was a Duluth boxer, or actually no, he was Crosby, Minnesota. His name is Scott Ledoux. Not sure if it's related to Chris Ledoux. I think they're spelled differently, but he was nicknamed the Fighting Frenchman. He was had a 33-13-4 record, and he lost to George Foreman in 76, and in 77 he was fighting Leon Spinks fought Leon Spinks to a 10-round draw, and Ledoux was going to fight Muhammad Ali, but they never got to square off because, or wait, no, he fought him in a charity event in 1977, and Ali promised Ledoux a title fight, but Ali was defeated by Leon Spinks and couldn't fulfill his promise. But his Ledoux's most famous fight, infamous fight, if you will, happened on February 13th, 1977. He was going against Johnny Boudreau, and after the 8-round fight, Ledoux and his trainer thought he clearly won, but was unanimously lost to Boudreau. And while Boudreau was being interviewed on live TV by Howard Cosell, Ledoux shouted at Cosell and said, "Tell it like it is." And Ledoux tried to kick Boudreau, who jumped out of the way, and Boudreau's feet got tangled in the cord to Cosell's headset, and he accidentally pulled the headset off along with Cosell's toupee.
Awesome.
I think this is
and
this is more funny than Heartbreak. This is just hilarious.
This is. It was, and the funniest part is how Ledoux says that he kept the tape of it just so he could get a good chuckle every now and again. But now you want to talk Heartbreak here. This one is Minnesota sports at its finest here. This is about Dwayne Bobick. He's a professional boxer, was from Bolus, Minnesota. Do you guys know where that is? No? Okay.
Where?
So, and he was Bolus, Bowlus.
It's got to be up north somewhere.
He had he won his first 38 matches, perfect 38-0, and he got to go up against Ken Norton, whose son is the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, played a long time in the NFL, good bloodlines. He was knocked out in just 58 seconds in the first round by TKO. The ref said, "No, you're done." And it was so bad, and this guy was undefeated, keep in mind. Didn't last an entire minute, make it a full minute. He got featured on the Weekend Update of Saturday Night Live.
So Bolus is actually up by Sartell and St. Cloud. So another fun fact on a Monday being talked about. I don't know. Grant, you
Fun
say
Fact
you're good
Friday, recorded on a Monday, coming to you on Thursday.
That's it. Thank you. That's too much for my brain.
Okay. Woo!
When you yell doggy, Boone's head.
Oh, sorry, Boone.
He's sleeping. He's okay.
And then we got to go back to glorified jogging. The Minnesota Kicks soccer team folds. This was an indoor soccer team.
What?
Or no, this was not the indoor team. My bad. The Strikers were the indoor team. They the most disappointing part about this was they continuously lost money out even after they were competitive. Most fans apparently were not upset that the team left. They were just mostly upset that they were not able to tailgate.
The party.
Understandable. People love Midwesterners love a good reason to party. And because I guess they didn't charge for parking either, so the parking lot often turned into quite a party. In Dan's notes
could you call it a parking lot party by Lee Bryce?
It was a party.
That was pretty good.
And then staying with soccer, Minnesota Strikers lose championship. This was an indoor soccer league.
Can I just make an amendment, Dylan? Can I make an amendment? It's no longer soccer. It's glorified jogging.
Glorified jogging? Okay, I like that. Glorified jogging, or my buddy Isaiah came up with this one too. Communist kickball. But kickball is actually fun. I don't want to bring kickball down.
You throw communists in front of it, it changes everything.
Should it be communist or royal? Because it's overseas. They have their parliament and shit.
No, communist.
No?
Communist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
it's either communist kickball or glorified jogging. You know, I'll clip this and we'll let the people decide of which one they think soccer is. Communist kickball or glorified jogging. You be the judge. We'll put it to a vote. This indoor soccer league, which they played at the Met Center, where the North Stars played. Interesting thing here was Tino Lettieri, Dan's favorite player of this team, he always kept a stuffed parrot named Ozzy in the net, and they sold these stuffed Aussies at the souvenir stand. Other than that, just another team in Minnesota that left. Luckily, we still have the important teams. It sounds like the Minnesota. I don't even know what their MLS team is called now. It sounds like they have some. The Loons. It seems like they are having more success than the Strikers and the Kicks. We'll see if that continues. But that wraps up the book club of History of Heartbreak. We will have Dan on next week to discuss the book. He's going to give us his Mount Rushmore of Minnesota sports figure, and we're all going to do our Mount Flushmore of Minnesota sports figures. So be ready for that. I'm going to be curious to see who you guys come up with and have as on the Mount Flushmore of awful Minnesota sports figures.
Hashtag boomers are soft.
Hashtag boomers are soft. And what did you guys? What are your guys' full thoughts on the book? What did you guys? What were some of your favorite moments of interesting, funny? Reopen some wounds. What were some things you guys? Some fun fact Fridays on a Mondays, sometime recorded on a Mondays or Wednesdays, released on a Thursday that you guys found in this book.
I guess I just relived my dad's whole life in a book. That's basically what I got.
Damn it, Craig.
Poor guy.
That is very true, because my dad was the same way, because he'd listen and he would call me telling me stories about, I remember this. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
For me, I just can't get over the fact that almost every professional sports team in this state either left or attempted to leave at one point.
Yeah.
Nobody likes it here. Let's all pack up our bags and go.
Unless they build a new stadium.
Because Minnesota sports fans are some of the most passionate fans in all of sports. They ride and die with their teams. And the highs are really high and the lows are lower than whale shit.
And there's a lot.
That's pretty low.
And there's a lot more lows than highs.
Yes. And you know what? Hopefully we have some mirror positivity. Hopefully there are brighter days ahead for Minnesota sports. And, I thought it was crazy that Minnesota almost hired John Wooden, and they didn't because of a snowstorm.
Allegedly.
Alleged snowstorm, which we don't think, according to history and weather reports, didn't happen.
Hartman's never wrong.
We need to get the Farmer's Almanac from 1965 to figure this out.
Yeah. We do. So we'll be interested to see. I'll be interested to see too what the best of the rest are. Some that didn't make the cut in the book, because it's Minnesota sports. There's plenty to go around.
Dan just didn't want to make it too depressing.
Yeah, that could be. But I suppose you guys want to hear about my flight?
Yeah, you didn't die. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I survived. Maverick and Goose, aka Cody. Cody and I, we flew up to Beulah Bay on Lake Sakakawea, did a quick flip around, and then
Sakakawea.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm going up there this weekend to go do some fishing.
You didn't catch a shark?
I don't think so. I don't know of any sharks there. Maybe I'm hoping to catch like a big fat walleye that I can mount in my house somewhere. I think that would be pretty sweet.
That'd be cool.
But it was this tiny Cessna plane. It was like very, very tight, very compact, and is very, very technical on things and different. Got to learn and listen to some the airplane talk, some real life in front things of the in flight things of of like what you hear when they're talking to air traffic control, different ways of spotting the airport when you're landing and looking for different landmarks. And
Could you land it if you had to? If Cody would have died, could you have landed that plane?
I would have. I don't know. I mean, if I was able to make contact with somebody at the base and listen to them, I probably would find a way to make it land. I definitely would not be a pretty landing, but I would have find a way to make sure it gets done.
It's not gymnastics. There's no style points here.
All right, guys.
No,
Hannah's
yeah.
about to walk in. I got to go get her. So we did not talk about her running over the curb.
I didn't hear that.
No,
Nope.
Hannah ran over the curb.
Yep.
Well, if I was just a stand-up
and,
comedian right now, oh my god.
Yeah, but hit some. There was some. It was so like it was very tight, and we had to like latch these doors down. We had to slam it as hard as you could. And there's a couple of times where we like hit some bumps, and I don't know how or why the bumps like happen, or where they come from. But for the most part, it was a pretty smooth ride. The wind was kind of howling a little bit. It was very calm in the morning, but by the time we got up, the wind had picked up a little bit and had a little bit of movement, a little bit of uneasiness at times. There was one I remember where I had my arm and it was kind of by the handle, and we hit this bump, and my initial reaction was to grab like this, like the door handle, but it's like you pull it up, and if I grabbed it just on instinct, and as soon as I grabbed it, it was like oh shit, I should not be grabbing this, because if I pull up hard enough, that door opens and I'm falling out.
And you're gone.
But,
see ya, bud.
And I'm gone. We were about 5,000 feet in the air, and I don't think I'm going to land gracefully.
Come on, you coward.
Yeah, next time I'll bring my parachute.
That's fair.
Yeah, which I think that's very, in that sense, that's like being a cat. Being called a cat is kind of a compliment in a roundabout way.
If you land on your feet.
Because usually if you're called a cat, it's very derogatory.
I can make it derogatory.
I'm sure you could, but this podcast being the mirror of positivity, we're not gonna, and we're gonna. Now that you're back, we're gonna kick
here. We are not the mirror of positivity. We all hate the world. Let's just call it what it is.
But I wouldn't consider myself a super hard Vikings fan. I cheer for them when they're not playing the Cowboys or it has an effect on them. But I probably will be going on another plane ride again with Cody at some point.
Just don't be like the one over DC yesterday where they had to send in the F-16s to intercept it over Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's
well,
smart.
I don't think this plane is going to be doing anything. It was old. It was a 2-seater plane, and other than just flying it around and going not too far, you can get. It would normally take about an hour and a half. We got there in a half hour,
nice.
And then flew back. So it was an hour flight.
Man, booking it.
Be sweet to go to like around Medora, go check out like the Badlands and something like that. I think that'd be a fun plane, or flying over my grandparents' farm, which would be sweet, because that's kind of my next plan, is to go fly over that and try to get a picture. So I have Christmas presents for everybody for next year. So the ideas never stop here. And I don't think I'll ever get my pilot's license, because he was telling me it is very expensive. He is already about 10 to 13 grand in between license, microphone, getting a headsets, because you have to.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, it's very expensive. A lot of testing. I don't like tests. And yeah, you learn how to fly a plane. So, and hopefully at some point he's able to buy a plane, so we don't have to rent it and it's cheaper. But yeah, so that was my plane experience. And Ethan, the floor is yours. Let's hear your curveball of the week.
I didn't really have one until about 5 minutes ago. I was just going to come up with something out of my ass. But
Nice.
what 10 years from now, what is one hobby you want to be doing?
Now, is this like a new hobby, something we haven't
New hobby,
done?
yeah, something you don't do, or maybe you want to do, but you haven't been able to?
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that is. I don't know.
I just thought of this.
Part
I'll
of me
go.
wants to say like a. Part of me wants to say I want to get. You want to be a gardener?
Yeah, I want to have a big garden.
Okay.
With jalapenos, a bunch of peppers, some onions. Maybe grow a fat ass pumpkin.
You need a lot of space for those pumpkins.
Yeah, no, they're big bitches.
Yeah.
Some rhubarb. Make some rhubarb pie.
Ooh.
Now I'm getting
My
hard. Sorry.
Cousin's wife made rhubarb bars a couple of
my
weeks
mom
ago.
made
Oh,
it
those
the
were
other
so
week,
good.
but she didn't. There's no way to get it to me, unfortunately.
Oh.
Oh.
You didn't want it bad enough.
Oh, I honestly, if she would have told me she would have made it, I probably would have went to Wilmer and grabbed it.
I think a new hobby, and I have the tools to do it, I just haven't gotten around to doing it, is I would like to get more into like grilling and smoking, doing different type of food, becoming more of a foodie, doing more different food things like smoking ribs. Out at the lake, my uncle broasted chicken. It was phenomenal. Yep.
Interesting.
Or like doing like shrimp broils, just having more cookouts, more barbecues, learning how to become like a pit master of sorts.
That's a good thing to have.
That's a good one.
I don't know, call me crazy now, but just because I live with Alec and this is what his family does, but
I feel like Grant's is gonna be he wants to go to the sperm bank more.
No, we're not. No, we're not doing that. We're not gonna let society feel bad with more people like me out there. We don't need that. One Grant is enough. God, let alone let's have 2 or 3 more. Oh, Jesus. Hey, here's another guy out in the world. All he's gonna do is go to the gym, eat a bunch of food, and send memes to his friends all day. Not do anything else for society.
Eat unflavored chicken breasts.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a real macho man. We need more of them out there. No, we don't. But no, kind of just excuse me, because what Alec and his family they do all the time, and it's super intense. And I think you're crazy because you want to do it. They're a fish for one of every 10,000 casts, but muskie fishing.
Ooh, that would be sweet to go do.
Because I just look at that.
Yeah, because they go way up north, right?
Mm-hmm. We're talking, Leech Lake, Vermilion, DL. They've gone some parts of Canada. At least, excuse me, Reggie has. But did you see that 50-incher that Alex got up there mounted? That'd be just something.
It's fake, according to Hannah.
It's a fake fish. No, it's a real fish. Well, it's a replica. But that big 52-inch fish he's got up there. Something about battling those and just catching that would be just such an adrenaline rush. I think that'd be something fun to do.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I catch a big one on Saturday if we end up going.
Maybe you'll catch a big fucking sturgeon.
Big fish.
Fucking dinosaur.
I don't think we have sturgeons in Sakakawea.
Oh shoot.
That's a bummer.
Maybe there is.
That'd be a sick fish to catch.
I think a sweet fishing trip would be like going down to like somewhere in the south and go
bass fishing.
There are go like bass fishing. Or gator hunting. That would be an honorable mention. Would be trying to get into hunting, but that's also during the middle of football season, and I still like football too much to. I really want to. Not sure if I want to give up my Saturday to go.
Dylan, you could
go out in the cold.
You could start doing turkey hunting. That's always in the spring.
Yeah.
Well, there's a fall turkey season too here.
Okay, but yeah, to your point, you don't have to miss football. Participate in the spring season. Blast some toms.
That is true. That might. And I have a new shotgun. I got to get my use out of it somehow.
There you go.
Just don't shoot the neighbor.
No, definitely do not want to do that. That is not a fun thing or something you come back from. But I think that wraps up. Like I said, we're gonna have Dan Minnesota on next week to discuss the book. We'll have more NBA Finals recap, and then after that, I think the next week what do you say? We do the '98 Braves talk. The team that had us feeling like the '98 Braves, the Morgan Wallen song, and then I don't know. We'll do some deep dives on maybe some teams. Maybe let's review some 30 for 30s or some sports documentaries. Things that we weren't alive for or were alive for, or too young to remember. Or go back and revisit those things. But for now, that wraps up episode 81 of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. Check us out on all of our social medias. We'll have the segments of the show on YouTube out on Friday. Go check out Conversation Monday as well. We'll have a new one of those out as well on Monday. Facebook page is Three Guys Talking Balls, same as YouTube. Subscribe, like there, share. And then you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok outside of Grant's hiccups on 3GTB Podcast. And thank you guys for listening. We will talk to you next time.